Good evening. Today we are having a question paper of a monthly test, Mathematics grade 11. So it's from certain school. We just do one or two questions of them, but I want us to start with question 1. Question 1, you are given the equation in the brackets 2x minus 3 exponent of 2 is equals to k. Then the first question, it says that if k is equals to 0, and then determines the value of x which will satisfy the equation. Then the second one, if k is equals to minus 3, then show all your calculations, which is 4 marks. The second one, the first one was 1 mark. So I want us to look into this one. The first one, when we solve for the first one, it means we are just going to substitute wherever we see k on our equation, we'll put 0. Then we will have in the brackets 2x minus 3 squared is equals to 0. Then we solve for x. So which means our equation now is not in the standard form, but it is in the complete square. So we can also solve for x in a complete square by square rooting both sides. So which means we will just square both sides. And then when we square both sides, I will copy down everything as it is, and then I will introduce a square root both sides. So this squared here will be cancelled by square root. Then 0 squared is 0. Then I will be left with 2x minus 3 is equals to 0. And remember, I'm looking for x. I have to take everything here that is not with x to the other side, which is minus 3 multiplied by negative. And I'll have 2x is equals to positive 3 plus 0 is just 0. When we divide both sides by 2, therefore we'll have x is equals to 3 over 2. That is the answer for the first one. Then the second one, where k is equals to minus 3, we'll still have the same equation, where we will say that in the bracket 2x minus 3 squared is equals to minus 3. That's what they said we should solve for x, or values of x for this is possible. And then with this one, we can say it's a complete square. Yes, we can square root both sides, but unfortunately this one is minus 3. So if it's minus 3, we cannot use the option of square root. Why? Because the square root of a minus number is unknown, which will be undefined. So which means we are expected to remove this squared to express the equation, simplifying further to find the other standard form of it. So which means we are having two brackets of 2x minus 3, and then the whole thing is equals to minus 3. Then see the 4 marks now count. Then the law says you multiply this one, multiply this one, multiply that one. I'll just bypass the stage, which is 4x squared minus 6x minus 6x plus 9 is equals to minus 3. Then I'll be having 4x squared minus 12x plus 9. I will take minus 3 to the other side. I plus it by 3 is equals to 0. And then this equation, I will take it this side. I will simplify the one that are the same, add or minus. And I will be having 4x squared minus 12x plus 9 plus 3, which is also 12 is equals to 0. And then our equation is like this one is in standard form, and we still have coefficient of x squared. And if they all numbers are divisible by this one, we just divide. Yes, they are divisible. So divide everything by 4. Then we will have x squared minus 12 divided by 4, which will give us minus 3. X then plus 3, which is equals to 0. And then we see if it can be solved, the equation like this one. And if it cannot be solved, then we will just have to leave it in that way, in the form of quadratic equation a is equals to 1 and then if a is equals to 1, then b is equals to minus 3, and then c is equal to 3. Then we will have x is equals to minus b plus or minus square root of 4 b squared, minus 4ac divided by 2a. Remember this one. Then we have x is equals to minus into brackets minus 3, and then plus minus in the square root, minus 3 squared minus 4. A is 1, B, sorry, C is this one, then 2 multiplied by 3. Then here you just put the first one, you put minus, the second one put positive, and then you will get the answer. If it's possible, you will get the first value and also the second value. They say show all the calculations. Show, I won't dwell much on finding the answers with the calculator. Let's continue further on the second equation. We will skip number 2 so far. We will go to question 3. Okay, let's see question 3. I want us the one to do the one that are simple. So first. So on question 3, we are having the equation x minus 3 over x is equals to 2, and then for the equation, determine the nature of the roots of the equation without solving for x. So if we have to understand the nature of the roots, we're looking for the discriminant, and the discriminant, when coming back to this equation of quadratic, coming back to this equation, we're only looking for the values under the square root. So we will have this equation in the standard formula. So how do we remove 3 over x? How do we remove x up there? We can multiply everything by x. Then we will have x multiplied by x minus 3 over x multiplied by x is equals to 2 multiplied by x. So you see I introduced by multiplication of x so that this x can multiply this one. Then we remove it. Then we will have x squared minus 3 is equals to 2x. Then I can take 2x to the other side and multiply by negative, and I'll have x squared minus 2x minus 3 is equals to remaining nothing there is 0. Therefore my a value is 1, then my b value is minus 2, then my c value is minus 3. Then like this one, then the discriminant, if I'm looking for the nature of roots, I don't know how much is it. I'll just say discriminant is equals to 0, or I'll just say this, sorry, not 0, I'll just say discriminant is equals to b minus 4ac in substitution. Then I will have minus 2 squared in the brackets, then 4a1, then c. Then this is the value of my, or the nature of the roots. So if we are looking for any value, you will get the nature of the roots from this equation. Then it will tell you why are we and how are we. And then the second question was saying solve for x for that equation. Then we just changing the sign. If it's just changing the sign, then we will take our equation from this part. Remember where we have simplified it, we just take it from this part, which we will have x squared minus 3, then less than, so greater than equals to 2x. If you still remember how we get 2x here and remove the 3 over x, we remove 3 at the bottom and we get x squared. So multiplied both sides, everything by x at this stage. Therefore, then we'll just take 2x to the other side. We will have x squared minus 2x minus 3 less than equals to, sorry, greater than equals to 0. You'll forgive me for this. Then we have x here. You can just use a quadratic formula, or we can use the method of factorization, or the factor method. Then we have 2x's both sides. The answer we will get, it will still be the same. Then it's 1 and 3 that are the factors of 3, and then the numbers in which that when we say 3 and 1, when we minus or when we plus, we get negative 2, it's plus 1 and minus 3. Therefore x is equals to 1, or x is equals to minus 1, because it's x plus 1 is equals to 0. X plus 1 is equals to 0, then 1 to the other side is negative. Then this one will have x minus 3 is equals to 0, negative 3 to the other side is positive 3. Then these are the two values, and then afterwards what do we do? Let me take this information here so that we can all understand. It's an inequality. So if it's an inequality, we are looking for also the graph we have to show in everything, even though I don't remember how many marks was that. So we will have something like the values of x is here, minus 1 is here, and then 3 is here. Our equation is a quadratic, and the x squared value, which is a, it's positive, then which means the graph will be facing up. And then for this that is greater than 0, we're looking for the value of the graph where is above the line x-axis, because it's where the values of y are positive. So which means we are looking for this region. This is the region we are looking for. This is the only way we can find the inequalities. So for this one, if x is minus 1 here, then all the values comes before minus 1. So which means we'll have all the x values less than equals to minus 1. So here we will have the x value is 3 and the region we're looking for is after 3. So which means all the x values are greater than equals to 3. That is how we get the answer. We use the some of you might use the timeline, and unfortunately the method of timeline, I don't encourage learners to understand it because it's quite challenging. You can only understand it when you are already understanding how to find these natures of the roots and also the values at the end of them. But then by then you will just be seeing yourself writing everything without understanding. So we're done with question 3. This was question 3.2 and this was question 3.1. Okay. Which means now, okay, this was question 3.2 and then this was question 3.1. Okay. And then we will go to the next question. The next question, which will be the question of okay, let's put away the simultaneous for now. We will skip question 4. We will go to question 5. Okay, we'll go to question 5. I want the questions that are similar first, and after we will do the questions that are not similar. Then we will do, okay, let's look at question 5. Okay, unfortunately, those who are on the YouTube, I'm having the challenge of connecting the studio with the YouTube channel. So it's connect and reconnect, but there's no load shedding. So okay, but then I'm having a record. I'll just upload everything afterwards. Then I will delete the live one. It's okay. Let's do question 5. Then question 5 here, it's not much visible. Okay, let's scroll down a bit. Okay, good. We can see question 5 there. We have it if the discriminant of two equations are equal. It means that discriminant of equation number 1 and discriminant of equation 2 are equal. So most of the learners find it challenging there. Then the first thing they ask you, 5.1, they say determine the value of m. So let's look at the first equation of 3x squared plus 2x minus 2 is equals to 0. Is in standard form. The value of a is equals to 3, the value of b is equals to minus 2, the value of c is equals to minus 2. Therefore discriminant is equals to b squared minus 4ac, and then which substitution will be b squared, which is minus 2 squared minus 4a, which is 3, and then c, which is minus 2. That is the discriminant of the first equation. Then of the second equation, its discriminant is equals to, we will have a is 3, b is 4, then c it's m, and we will have discriminant of b squared, which is 4 squared, and then we will have minus 4a 3, and then a c it's m. Then remember when we said that discriminant 1 is equal to discriminant 2, so the two discriminants are equal and we are looking for the value of m. That's what the statement said. So we are going to say simply minus 2 into brackets square minus 4, 3 into brackets minus 2. That is the first discriminant, and then it's equal to second discriminant, which is 4 into brackets square minus 4 into brackets 3 multiplied by m in the brackets. And then what do we do now? We solve for value of m, because the two discriminants are equal. And discriminant, like I said, are the values that we get under the square root when we put on the equation of quadratic to solving for x. Then this one on the calculator is going to be 4 minus, then this one the calculator is going to be positive 4 times 3 is 12, 12 times 2 is 24. Then we're going to have 24, positive 24, because negative times negative is going to be positive. And this one is going to give us 16. while this one is going to give us negative 12m. And we'll take this one is going to give us 28 is equals to 16 minus 12m. We'll take 16 to the other side, multiply by negative, then we'll have 28 minus 16, which is equals to minus 12m. Then 28 minus 16, which will supposed to give us 12, if I'm not wrong, yes, which is equals to minus 12m. Therefore, we divide both sides by minus 12, divide both sides by minus 12. Therefore, minus 1 this side is equals to m. That's the value of m. According to the question, they have answered the value of m. It was saying the value or the values, but unfortunately we only got one because these two discriminants are equal. Okay, and then the next question says that describe the nature of roots for these equations. You look at the two equations and then you check if the natures of the automatically these ones, they will give you the numbers that are commas automatically, because the coefficient of of x squared is 3, and then all the other numbers b and c are not divisible by 3. So which means we are going to get the numbers in commas, and if the numbers are in commas, automatically the roots are not real. So if they are not real, we're talking about the real numbers. The roots are not the real numbers, and then they are not rational, non-rational. So rational meaning we can say that they are rational, yes. Rational meaning they are the numbers with comma and they end up something like 1 over 2, 3 over something. But then, yes, that's the nature of roots. We just describe by saying that they are equal, real, equal, unreal, and equal, non-real. Yeah, we just describe like that. But so far, like I said on this one, then if you still find difficulties there, we will revise. Okay, now let's go to question 6. The one that is similar is question 6. Now question 6, we are having the equation of x plus 1 into brackets squared divided by x squared minus x minus 6. So the first one, they say solve for values of x for equation is equals to 0. Now if for that one the equation is equals to 0, then we'll just take everything, we equate it to 0, and we solve for x. The first step we do when we solve for x, to remove the denominator, we multiply both sides by the value, or we can just simplify this one and you can also get the answer. But then we multiply everything by the denominator to get the equation being simplified. It's equals to 0 multiplied by the denominator, it's x minus 6, and then also, which means this side we will have x squared minus x minus 6, all in all multiplied by x squared minus x minus 6. I don't have a space, this one will cancel, this one will be left with x plus 1 into brackets is equals to everything multiplied by 0 is 0. Therefore we can square root both sides. After squaring both sides, we have x plus 1 is equals to 0. Then we take 1 to the other side. Remember the answer we get under the square root is plus or minus, and therefore we will have x is equals to remember negative, right? Negative to the other side, which is, so the positive to the other side becomes negative. Yes, that's what I say. Negative is going to be negative. Okay, which means the value of x is equals to 1, because plus or minus 0 is just 0. 0 is not a real number, so it's not a natural number also. So it's plus minus, it's the same value, it's 0. Okay, the second equation or the second question saying is that it's not defined. When it's not defined, the meaning the only equation that cannot be defined is that when the denominator is equals to 0. So we don't take everything, we just take the bottom one. We'll say x squared minus x minus 6 is equals to 0. That's the only way it can be undefined, not defined, which is undefined. Not defined, undefined is the same thing. So even if you can do on the calculator, if the value is 2 divided by 0 on your calculator, is going to give you math error, syntax error. So that is what we call undefined. So the equation to be undefined, everything must be divisible by 0, then it's going to be undefined. So here we just solve for x. You can punch on a calculator. A is equals to 1, b is equals to minus 1, c is equals to minus 6. Then after that, you will get everything, and then you will just substitute, or you can just use the factor method. Then we will use one, which one will give you minus 2 and 3. So these are the two for which equation will be undefined. So yeah, it might look easy, but we just use using the principal skills, those who I'm teaching during the afternoon classes, most of you understand and you know, and you understand how am I fast. So don't be left behind. I'll keep on the screen active in most cases like this one, so you can just copy down and then you can pause the video in the meantime. Keep on watching what is possible for you to attain further. Okay, now we can do the simultaneous questions. Now before we can do the simultaneous questions, let me just go to the simultaneous question that is there. We are having, okay, question 4. We are having question 4, simultaneous question, which is question 4. Question 4, it says that we are having 2 exponent of 3x plus 1 all in all is equals to 4 exponent of y, and the second equation we are having x squared 2y is equals to 29. Okay, with the case like this one, we rename. I told my learners to say that we rename. We start by renaming, and when we rename, we just say the first, we copy down the equations like this one in sequence. You can start with this one, follow this one, then the one you write first is equation 1, the one you write after is equation 2. Then take the simple one that it can be simplified. This one automatically has x and y and x squared. It cannot be simplified, but this one it can be simplified. So what do we do here? We have the exponents. We have the first thing we should remove is to remove the exponents. And when we remove the exponents, we simplify the basis to be the simpler exponents or to be the prime numbers into an exponent. So 2 is simplified as prime number. Then 4 is not a prime number, it can be into. So we'll just say 2 exponent of 2 exponent, sorry for that, we'll just say 2 exponent of 3x plus 1 is equals to 2 exponent of 2 multiplied by y. This is the law of exponents, right? And therefore, if the bases are the same and we are equating those exponents, we just take the exponents and equate them. Then we will remain with 3x plus 1 is equals to 2y. Now I will so simplified like this. Sorry for that, it was just a call. Someone was simplified like that. Then we will have equation number 3. So equation number 3 given like this one. Then we say now simplify this equation number. Oh, before we label the equation number 3, we must either have x is equals to or y is equals to, so that we can have it in the simpler form. So in this way, we can say, oh, I can relate. I'm still correct if I say it's equation 3 so far, because I see 2y this side and also we have 2y this side. So I can say I will then substitute 2y into equation number 2. I'm right. 2y into equation number 2. Sure. Got 2 both sides, and we get y is equals to 3x plus 1. Why am I not dividing? Because this number, it cannot be divisible by 2, and also I see opportunity of 2y on the second equation. That's why I don't divide. Okay, going further, then I will have x squared plus wherever I see 2y, I will put 3x plus 1, then it's equals to 29. Then I have substituted, I have a mark for substitution. Yes, and then I simplify. I'll take everything to equals to 0. Then I'll have recopy this one. Then I'll take 29 from that side. It's going to be negative 29 is equals to 0. Okay, with that point being said, then 1 and 29 they are familiar, which means are the like terms. So we'll have x squared plus 3x 1 minus 29, which is minus 28 is equals to 0. Sure. Okay, here we are. And then the next step from here, we are looking at we can use the quadratic equation, or we can use the quadratic formula to figure out the roots. A is equals to 1, B is equals to 3, and then C is equals to minus 28. Then we substitute. It's just a simple procedure. Remember, I won't do everything. I don't have a calculator for now, but when you have a calculator, you can do. Then you put on the simple equation x is equals to plus or minus okay, so minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Then substitution will have something like this one, plus or minus square root of 3 squared minus 4 multiplied by 1 multiplied by minus 28 divided by 2 multiplied by 1. Then the first one you'll put 1 positive, the second one you put negative, then you'll get the values. And after you get the values, then you will substitute x into equation number 3, and you will get y. Then that's where here you will then say answer. After you put x here, you will divide that x by 2, or that value, so not x, that value you will get here after you put x and divide it by 2, then you will get the values. Yes, that's simultaneous number 1. So we can go to simultaneous number 2. Now on the simultaneous number 2, I also want us to see how it is done, so that, remember, the aim here is not to get the answer, is to get the method of how we solve these equations. And then after we solve the equation, it means any question that comes afterwards, you will be able to answer it. That's the aim. The aim is to be able to answer the questions without being further. Oh, I didn't see question 8, but we'll come back to it. It's fine. Remember, I also skipped question 2. Okay, the last simultaneous on the part, I will just copy down everything. Then it's 3y minus x minus 4. Then at the bottom, I'll write x squared minus xy plus y squared is equals to 3. Okay, don't forget the aim. The aim is to write them like this one. Then start saying equation number 1, then equation number 2. Then you take the one that you can simplify, always this one, or the one that is straight line equation. It can simply be simplified. Then I'll just swap this one to this side and this one to the other side, and therefore I will be having something like, let me see if I copy. Oh, this one is equals to 0. Sorry, I was trying to change that order. I left the negative side. So it's x minus 4 is equals to 0. Okay, so I will just take negative x to the other side, and I'll have 3y minus 4 is equals to x, and I will rename equation number 3. Then I will substitute x on equation number, the one that I didn't touch, is equation number 2. And then furthermore, wherever I see x, I will put this value. I have to introduce the bracket in substitution. Please, if you don't introduce the bracket, that is where you will get the answers wrong. Then we will have we will have in the bracket, it's gonna be longer, this one, because of this one, but then I will just make sure I simplify it further. Okay, let me put the book like this one, and then I will have in the brackets 3y minus 4 squared. That is the first one. And then the second one, I having minus in the brackets 3y minus 4 multiplied by y, and then plus y squared is equals to 3. That is what it means. So this one, it means two of them, meaning what we have 3y minus 4 multiplied by 3y minus 4, two of the brackets. Then I simplify this one, I'll have minus 3y squared, and also negative times negative is positive, then positive 4y, then plus y squared minus 3 to this side, minus 3, then the rest at the other side remains 0, because I took that positive 3 to the other side. It's going to give us negative 3. Then here I will just simplify by multiplying this one and this one, this one and this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Then it will gives me 9y squared minus 4y minus 12y plus 16 minus 3y squared plus 4y plus 4y plus y squared minus 3 is equals to 0. I simplify the left terms, then y squared minus 3 y squared, this one is minus 2y squared, so minus 2y squared plus 9 squared, which is 7y squared, then minus 12y minus 12y plus 4y, minus 12 minus 12, it's going to give you minus 24y, plus 4y, it's going to give me minus 20y. I'm not sure if you, yeah, but I'm sure, yes. Then we'll have 16 minus 3, which gives me positive 13 is equals to 0. So you can see our simultaneous now. It's coming. A is equals to 7, B is equals to minus 20, then C is equals to 13. So with it being said like this one, we just also use the same procedure of end up finding the values of y. So on our quadratic formula, we won't put x, but we will put y. Why do we put y? Because we're looking for y, not x here. Don't forget that. Then minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Substitution, minus into brackets minus 20 plus or minus into brackets minus 20 squared minus 4 multiplied by a, which is 7, multiplied by c, which is 13. Then all in all divided by 2 multiplied by 7. Then you'll still get the values of y. Then afterwards, you will punch them on a calculator and you substitute back on equation number 3. And you're getting the two values. Then it's a done deal. Thank you. And then the last part I want us to focus on which one? I want us to focus on which one? Okay, let's see. Okay, due to the limited time of online classes, and then I will do question 2 and also question 8 separately. Then I will also share the link. Thank you very much for your cooperation.